Tonight on Missing Persons Unit, before she disappeared, JD spent hours talking to strangers on internet chat sites.
So there's 2 girls there? She's one.
Now, after 4 torturous weeks, the 14-year-old's been spotted having coffee.
I'm very scared that she might put herself in danger.
In Melbourne, the heartache is almost over.
There he is.
Veronica Green's daughters meet their brother for the first time.
What a bonus. We now have our, full biological brother.
But will this reunion bring their mum out of hiding?
Just come back and see what you're missing and I'm sure you won't leave again.
And drama in the New South Wales bush outside Wollongong. On the hunt for 65-year-old James McGrath, police face one of their toughest searches yet.
It's that thick we could walk straight past him, wouldn't even know he was there.
Good morning, everyone.
It's another busy week ahead at the Missing Persons Unit.
65-year-old male from Wollongong.
Senior Constable Gary Melchiori gets the case of retired marathon runner James McGrath. He headed out for his daily walk on Friday. That was 72 hours ago, and no one has seen him since.
He's taken his dog for a walk in the morning and didn't return home.
Andy, do we have an update on the JD case?
It's 3 weeks since she has made contact.
Senior Constable Andy Drummond continues his search for 14-year-old runaway JD.
And we're a little bit concerned about her, so we're still making some inquiries.
In the case of Veronica Green, I'm happy to say there has been some good news.
In the ongoing case of missing Victorian mum Veronica Green, her daughters Jackie and Penny have found the brother their mum gave away at birth. Their first ever meeting with him is just days away.
And I hope Mum is watching. Have a good day.
Okay. In the case of missing schoolgirl JD, Andy Drummond is still no closer in his search for the 14-year-old.
Initial report, she was missing on the 26th of September, so it's getting close to a little bit over 3 weeks. Without a character, she hasn't returned back yet, because she obviously hasn't got any money, so it's a possibility someone is taking advantage of her.
Last week, we picked up on the search for JD, missing for almost a month.
He was probably 35.
What?
Waiting at home for the teenager to call has been a nightmare for her mum, Rita.
Does he look familiar to you?
So she joined police in the search for her young daughter.
If only I knew what she was wearing,
After a city sighting,
These are the street side cameras.
Rita and Detective John COSGROVE ploughed through CCTV footage hoping to spot JD. But no luck.
As strong as she thinks she might be, you're not strong in the city.
Today, the hunt is about to intensify in Burwood, in Sydney's west.
I really miss you a lot. We want to help you, whatever difficulties you have. Please come home.
And back at the Missing Persons Unit, the day just got a whole lot busier for Andy Drummond.
Down around the escarpment area of Wollongong?
Yes.
While the detectives take over the search for JD, Andy begins looking for dementia sufferer James McGrath.
Probably come down to the command post.
Yep.
So basically, what's the situation down there, boss? Is he still missing, is he?
Yeah, still missing, and there are search teams in the bush.
Okay, right.
In the escarpment. We're concentrating on the sort of south from the command post today.
After 3 days, police and volunteers have stepped up their search for the missing 65-year-old grandfather.
They did their search on the northern end of the command post yesterday. Now they're going to concentrate on the southern end. So
Okay.
at this stage, they've got the media advised. They've got. I'll confirm if they've got poly up and running with the thermal imaging, and we'll see how we go.
Okay.
They're still searching. Okay.
We'll get kitted up and head down there.
Okay.
After the recent sighting of JD, detectives are ramping up the search for the missing 14-year-old.
We understand through our inquiries to date that JD was sighted in and around the Westfield cafe or coffee shop
JD was seen in Burwood, so Detective Senior Constable John Cosgrove has asked local police for help.
We understand she may be keeping company with a fellow by the name of Sam. The information we have and we can't confirm is possibly drives a Subaru, maybe a WRX, white or yellow.
After almost 4 weeks without word from her daughter, Mother Retha is at her wits' end.
I'll be very interested to know if she's alone or if she's with somebody. That would be important to me. Just trying to find out where she is.
She may not want to return home, but if she's in good health, we'd certainly like to put her in contact with Mum and go from there. Thanks for your assistance.
I'm very scared that she might put herself in danger, obviously.
Meanwhile, on the outskirts of Wollongong, a big team of police, SES and rural fire officers continue their search for James McGrath.
Let's go after the sort of caves that are on the cliff line up here. Apparently it's pretty well known to locals. So might have taken refuge there overnight.
Yeah, I'm with Team 1. We're in unison for all okay.
CP to search Team 1.
At search headquarters, several kilometres away,
Search Team 1.
Yeah, can you give us a
Sergeant
update
Emmanuel
on what
VERZOSA
areas you've covered
checks
at this point in time,
progress
please?
of the searches, combing an area full of abandoned mine shafts.
Complete all the cliffers underneath Broker's Nose, all caves and holes checked.
Yeah, CP, copy that.
Inspector Taylor, my name's Senior Constable Drummond from Missing Persons. That's
Meanwhile, Gary and Andy receive a fresh update from Search Commander Inspector Chris Taylor.
He was seen 9:30 a.m. on the day that he disappeared at the bottom of this track. He would have above average fitness for his age, even though he's 65. But because of his medical condition, that would now start to be having an impact on what he's able to do, how he's able to reason and those sorts of things.
He's now missed out on 3 days of medication, which suppresses his anxiety. He'd be scared, plus he hasn't eaten for the 3 days. That alters his blood sugar levels, which increases confusion on top of his Alzheimer's and the lack of medication. So everything starts playing against him.
In Burwood, a large police task force hits the streets to continue its search for the 14-year-old schoolgirl, now missing for a month.
So we're just making some inquiries.
Even with all the police resources used on this case, there's still no sign of JD.
She's been hanging out with a boy, about 19-year-old.
But just as it looks like JD's escaped the police net again,
this missing person here, JD,
an unexpected flash of hope.
whether you may have seen him.
His name is like yesterday, sitting out here.
Okay. Do you mind if we go upstairs and have a look through the footage? That might help us identify this young girl.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
Okay. Well, the footage is upstairs, is it?
So there's 2 girls there. She's one on the right.
How long do you reckon she was seated there for?
Half an hour.
Is or isn't this JD?
I'm not sure. I think she's too.
4:38.
The video is blurred. The girl's face is not clear.
No, she's got attitude. I think this girl is similar than JD is. If I look at her legs and how she looks in her school clothes. But I can't be sure. It's been a month. You don't know what actually happened in this month, to be honest.
In the forest outside Wollongong, there's still no news in the search for grandfather James McGrath.
There's a few people that have fallen in the mountains and broken legs and limbs, and we've had to sort of locate those people. We get a lot of trail bikes through the area too, so you do get a lot of people that's either lost or injured in the mountain.
Rural fire officer Warren Robinson has been in this position many times before. With nightfall closing in, Warren is racing against the clock, using his local knowledge to focus the search on key areas.
I've sort of advised the police of all the different roads and tracks and caves and all those types of things where people would walk and head through. Down on the bottom here, it's just a lot of very heavy area. There's a few culverts around and drains that go where people could slip over the side.
And that's the biggest fear, that without food or his medicine, James may have become disoriented, even fallen down a mine shaft.
If he has fallen over and taken a tack or something like that, he has dropped into the vegetation. It is very thick. It hasn't had fires through this area for 30 or 40 years that I know of. And quite obvious it's that thick that if you slipped over the edge, you wouldn't see him. You could walk straight past him, wouldn't even know he was there.
Hoping for a break in the long search for missing teenager JD, Mike and Matt from Burwood Police returned to a cafe where they left her missing poster that morning.
She was sitting just out on one of the tables outside, just having lunch. One of the other workers said that he's pretty sure, positive, he's seen her sitting up near the bus station.
Oh, okay.
Just up here. So.
It's the third sighting of JD in as many days.
It's her eyes that give it away. Because she was facing us. She was sitting facing us. So.
Yeah. Thanks very much for your help.
Good
The
luck
street
with it, guys.
canvas has worked, and the net is closing in. If she shows up here again, police will get a tip-off immediately.
We think we're fairly confident to say that through some of the shop owners that JD was probably here yesterday morning, probably into the afternoon.
JD, when you see this, won't you please let us know where you are? Let us know if you're okay. You don't have to come home if you don't want to. You can call the police. Please come back home anyway. I really miss you. Just tell us what's going on, please, okay?
Down in Melbourne,
Well, now he's going on his first flight.
the 30-year case of missing mum Veronica Green,
I wonder if we'll recognise him.
her daughters Jackie and Penny are only moments away from meeting their long-lost brother Stephen
Landed, it's landed.
for the very first time.
I just feel emotional. I don't know why.
On the last program, Detective Senior Constable Helen Nugent, who spent 4 years looking for their mum Veronica, had some great news.
There is a male child born at that time.
Wow, yeah.
Helen found Jackie and Penny's brother. He was adopted out before the girls were even born, and their mum never told them. Adoption papers provided his name and address.
Oh, my God.
And his sisters then Googled his phone number.
Hello?
Their brother wasn't home,
After Stephen.
but his other sister was.
Stephen John SLIWINSKI.
Yep.
That's him?
So Penny made this plea to Stephen on the program.
Really looking forward to making contact with you, and I hope that you will find it in your heart to want to have contact with us.
And Stephen heard their plea, but it wasn't until his sisters wrote him
Anyway,
this
Stephen,
letter
I believe that we can learn from our past, but our future is up to us.
that he worked up the courage to call them.
How you going, Jackie? It's Stephen.
Hello.
So then, all three children agreed to meet for the first time, and still
I was just
with the
tricking
hope
Steve, I owed
of
you
finding their mum.
Are you excited?
It's going to be good fun, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I'm really looking forward to it.
Back in the search for 65-year-old James McGrath, police are now checking caves for any sign of him.
Cave here, doesn't look like it's been used for a while. Used by the locals fairly regularly, but all this rubbish is fairly week, 2 weeks old. So yeah, it looks like he hasn't been through here.
Still no luck, and it's nearly sunset.
Team 2 to CP.
But then, from deep in the forest, they hear a distant cry.
We've heard a call. We're just trying to figure out if it's an echo off another team or it's a genuine call. So we're just going to search the area, see what we've got. I'll get back to the CP and see if we've got another team in the area.
In Melbourne,
let's go.
Stephen's plane has landed. Such an anxious moment for Veronica's daughters and grandson.
There he is. That's him, definitely.
46 years apart.
It's definitely him.
And now their first meeting. Pieces of the puzzle Veronica left behind are finally falling into place. The resemblance is striking.
Oh, he laughed. The laugh.
And you too. I see you saw it? I don't know.
With this reunion, Stephen gets back the family that was snatched from him.
It's all good. Trust me. Hey? You'll hear some family stories and you'll go, no, it's all good.
Well, I couldn't even make it down in a 24-hour period.
Well, we weren't going to teach you about that until later on.
Back on the outskirts of Wollongong,
CP to Search Team 1.
Rescue Coordinator Sergeant EMMANUEL VERZOSA and his team have been unable to locate the voice they thought was James McGrath's.
Yeah, just to let you know, we're now at Harbourside Beach. We'll have a quick look around the area and then we'll return back if that is all we're required to do.
As light fades on the mountain, so does hope finding the 65-year-old alive.
Yeah, that's a family. Bulleye Beach is as far as you need to go. You can come back. Thank you.
It's a nightmare for James's desperate family.
I'd never want anyone to go through this. Never. It's awful not knowing.
Just as police prepare to call off the search, there's a breakthrough.
Just wait there. Okay. Found him.
Local man and his son have spotted James.
Kim and I decided to go and have a look on our own bat, and we got over the bit of the crest of the hill there, and we could hear
slight echo
like help, and we stood still for a while, and it happened again. So we sort of headed towards that way.
It's fantastic news, especially for his wife, Irene. Police know where James is, but have no idea what condition he's in.
Is somebody with us?
Yeah. Which way from the top?
Temperatures now falling, the rescue is becoming more critical by the minute. Back in Sydney, Detective COSGROVE gets the call from JD's mum that he's been hoping for.
I'm good, thanks for you.
That's good. I hear you've got some good news.
Oh, gosh, yeah, I'm starting to work already.
After hiding from police for a month, JD's conscience got the better of her. She returned home.
Now, what we want to do is just come down, have a quick chat to JD this morning. How does that sound?
Oh, that'll be excellent, because I need the help. She's a bit wild.
If she'd contacted Mum earlier, and it would have alleviated the family's concerns a lot. You know, Mum's been at a wit's end. It's been over a month now.
After 3 days searching, rescuers have finally reached 65-year-old grandfather James McGrath.
Everybody's been looking for you.
Oh, that's good.
Let's give it.
At last, he's in safe hands.
But he looks terrible with all the mud on his face. And obviously he's been trying to drink.
But because of his dementia, James has no idea where he is.
Oh, I bet you it is.
Scary.
And you're in a place where you've never been before.
Yeah.
And you just think...
Having wandered for 3 days in the bush, he's ended up little more than a kilometre from his own home.
It wasn't far. He almost made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, very close.
He's a bit of a champ,
I've checked him out. All his obs are unremarkable. He's got a really good blood glucose, which I would expect to have been down. That's fine. Yeah. So all I've done is put up some fluids just to tidy things up. This will just give him an internal drink rather than external.
Yeah.
His heart's fine. Everything's fine. All right.
Way to go, way to go. Watch the ditch. All right, we're just going to put it... Okay. Yeah, fantastic result. Heading on towards 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Sun's going down behind the mountain. It's starting to get very cold out there. So I think the family, the police, SES, all the rescuers, everyone's just so relieved that he's been found.
I can't thank the police service and rescue squads enough. They've done so much for us, our family, and constant support, contact. So, yeah, they really worked hard for a good result. So, thanks a lot.
All right, go on. In Melbourne, at a barbecue to introduce Stephen to the rest of the family, his cousins just can't stop staring.
No, I was absolutely speechless. When I seen you.
Then, while everyone's getting to know each other, Stephen's real dad drops by to meet the son he never knew.
He's not a bad bloke, he's a bit of a joker.
Stephen's dad, who looks just like his brother Bob, seen here, is not in good health, and so wanted their meeting to be private.
Sort of live in the same park.
He just stared at me for a long time. He told me she was beautiful. He told me that, like, some days he's angry with her for not being here now. I can't understand it. And other days he's really passionate and sorry that she's not around. I haven't really got to what went on about me, if that makes any sense with him, you know. I told him there's plenty of time for that.
John Cosgrove and Guy Flaherty have arrived at JD's home, anxious to confirm that after a month on the streets, she is okay.
Hello. Oh, hi, Rita.
She's back at last. At least I know she's safe, you know, and all that kind of stuff.
She's still here now?
She's still...
We're hoping to have a quick chat and
Yep.
just make sure everything's all right.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Okay.
JD? I'll go fetch her for you.
It's a delicate situation, one that John and Guy have experienced before. But they need to know JD has not been taken advantage of. To find out what happened in the last month, they need to handle this angry teenager with patience and care.
JD, how are you? Listen, I understand you're having a few words with Mum. We're not here to arrest you, sweetie, OK?
I was saying, if you wanted to do it.
No, listen, I've got nothing to arrest you for, OK?
Tell my mum I'm going out, so she invites a bunch of coppers over.
OK.
But someone's stuffing it up for me.
Yeah.
You.
All right. Do you mind if we have a quick chat to you for a couple of minutes?
There are a number of detectives that put a lot of time into
They're not very good, are they? They didn't find me.
They are.
But confronted by an ungrateful teenager, it's going to be a long night for John and Guy. Back at Victoria's Missing Persons Unit, Helen Nugent has an encouraging lead. After our series last year, viewers phoned in with important information that could help her find Veronica Green.
Today I'd be appealing to anybody who's called before to ring me again, especially the lady who rang in regards to Nullarbor Plains. She's given some information, which I followed up. The old locals saw the program. They started talking amongst themselves, and they've all stated that about 25 years ago they saw Veronica there.
After 4 years, this case has become intensely personal for Helen, and she won't rest until she finds out what happened to this much-loved mum.
Veronica, I understand that you have your own life to lead, and you may have had reasons for going. But if you could perhaps just contact me even, and I can let your daughters know that you're okay, and that's where you want to be, and they'll be happy with that. As long as you're happy, they will be happy.
And despite being happily united, Veronica's children still need their mum to complete their family.
Your three children are together now and their families are together and we're enjoying each other's company and it's fantastic, and you're the missing link. You know, you've got to come home. Just come back and see what you're missing, and I'm sure you won't leave again. We love you, Mum. Come home.
Yeah, I've only filled up one chink in the girls' lives, and you're a lot bigger chink to fill up than I am, I think. You know? So, if you're out there, I think you better come and do the right thing by the girls.
It's never too late, Mum. We love you. And we want more than anything to have you in our life again. So please, if you see this, please come home.
Next week, Detective Cosgrove gives runaway JD a dose of reality.
A lot of 14-year-old girls go missing and they never, ever get found.
But will JD listen?
You don't know what she's going to do next.
You know her?
And 79-year-old Kana Gutman has vanished. Missing for 24 hours, and she doesn't speak a word of English.
I didn't see her for a very long time.
Also, a Queensland outback mystery.
We've covered all up around his mine site here and all around that hill.
Is bushy Paul Lubber alive, or has the desert claimed another victim?
And that's where he found the tracks again, crossing the fence line.